talk and non-technical stuff before actually working on the stuff. So it's a different world outside there. So if you talk about Belgium, it's again use titles and last names, repeat name and introduce and present your business card. France is the thing. You need to shake hands. It needs to be quick with a light grip. If you are here in the United States, if you are used to this culture, they usually have a firm grip on the people. You just need to be really firm when you give hands or when you shake hands with people. But when it comes to France, you just need to be light and really good. So yeah, and eye contact is really important. The French people, if you look at French people, they usually see as if they are going to stare at you and they are going to kill you or something. That's how they view things. If you are sitting in a meeting, that's how they look at you. I have a personal experience. I was working with a Canadian client from the French part of Canada. So he was basically a French guy. When I was talking to him, he was looking at me as if he was going to kill me or something. He was like really serious to the point, and there is intense eye contact involved in French people. Of course, it's their culture, so it's really good. In German, again, they shake hands and accompanied by a nod of the head, just to say that you agree or something. And Norway, again, in Norway, when you shake hands, just shake your hands and don't talk more about your personal achievements, like I'm a big person there, I'm a big industrialist or something, because there is a common law in the Scandinavian part, which is called Jante's law, which says that culture tends to negatively view individual successes. So if you keep boasting about your personal and individual achievements, they usually view it as a negative aspect. And Switzerland is regular shaking hands and everything. So now let's talk about a meeting, how to behave in a meeting. So if you're here from the United States, if you go to different countries, how do you behave in a business meeting? If you go to Denmark, you'll be really in trouble because all the meetings, they last so long. Even a general business lunch or a business meeting, they would last at least 4 hours. That's the way people do business there. If you are invited for a dinner or something, like a business dinner to one of the homes, be ready to spare at least 4 to 5 hours, because that's how they do it. They just run so long. They all talk about a lot of things, and that's how it happens. And Sweden, we need to be prepared in team meetings, because it gives importance to all of the people, irrespective of their social status and irrespective of their position in the company. So it's a flat management structure in Sweden. So open debate is common, obviously. In Netherlands, you'll have, again, it's the same. You give person the equal opportunity to contribute. You don't have to, it's not like a hierarchical structure. And Belgium is again the same. Making punctuality is critical, and it is the meetings are socially oriented to develop trust. And France is like a hierarchical structure, like a lot of like an authoritative management structure, I would say. It's like you always defer to seniority. There's always a senior leader who is like a chief or someone, and we don't, in a meeting, you don't dare to talk against the person, the main person or the chief or someone. However, in the Scandinavian countries like Denmark, Sweden and Norway, you have the right to openly express your opinions on something. And Norway, Germany is like prepare for open debate only when the discussions touch your area of expertise. If you're talking about something else and if you open your mouth or something, if you're from the technical background, if you talk about something else, then they won't view it correctly. They won't like it really well. So only when the area touches its area of expertise, it's better to just voice your opinions. In Norway, it's the same. Their evidence-based opinions must be generated. And Switzerland is same as France. You defer to seniority. It always continues to be paternalistic. And the next situation, when managing a team of local nationals. So if you're appointed as a manager in one of those European countries, how would you talk to people? How would you deal with people? Because those kind of, apart from the formal mode of communication, the formal management style, it's very important to be really communicative when it comes to the informal part. So as we discussed in the previous chapters, the informal organization also plays a major role in the entire overall development of the company or something. So when you are a manager in a particular country, one of these countries, if you are in Denmark, Denmark, Sweden and Norway, they are more like the same. As I mentioned, they are very informal. So the manager doesn't view himself as a big leader or like a big chief. He always views everyone as an equal persons. So that's how it happens there. And in Netherlands, Netherlands has this paternalistic kind of approach. You always view as a chief amongst equals. And Belgium is also the same. And When you talk about France, the France is also the same. You view himself as chief who direct works to subordinates, and there is a lot of personal networking going on within France. They believe, French people believe that personal networking is the key for successful implementation of a project. So a lot of informal organizations exist, but it's always a paternalistic kind of an approach. And Norway is the same, and Switzerland, it's again practical and unpretentious, and your credentials matter. So if you are from a highly ranked position within the company, your opinions will be considered a lot more than the others. And this is the major part. When you're communicating and negotiating with people, when you're working on a business, you're communicating with people. Denmark, they insist on plain, direct, and egalitarian approach. In fact, most of the countries, they have this kind of an egalitarian and a plain, direct approach. You don't have to be so diplomatic and just work on curves and talk about something else. It's really important to be on the spot. Just talk about direct stuff and don't worry about anything that happens. And we should also be concerned if the people are really a little rude to us, because that's their culture. It's like they don't view if they don't like something, they'll just tell it straight in your face. They won't be thinking like, they won't be indirect in their opinions. If your project is not worthy enough, they will just say it straight in your face. It's not worthy enough, sorry, we're not doing it. So they value their time and punctuality and all their directness a lot. So they expect Americans or people from other countries to be the same when doing business with them. So, and Netherlands, only when rejecting, when they send a reject letter for a project or something, you have these kind of devious behavior, like they seem to complicate a lot of stuff instead of saying a direct no. Apart from that, most of the countries, they have a direct objective and other stuff. And France and Germany are the most are called the tough negotiators. They're really hard to convince. If you want to convince a French customer to buy something or to approve a project, you'll have to answer a million questions at least to do it. Because from my personal experience when I worked there, he asked at least 1,000 questions relating to just the general stuff, and he didn't even go to the technical part. He had to answer a lot of questions. So that's how it happens there. And Switzerland is also serious and sober. And talking about humor, you don't really have to be like humorous in your way, the way you speak. In the American context, it's really important. The way you speak with a lot of humor and sarcasm and everything, it's really appreciated, or it's okay. But when you come to Germany or other European countries, humor is generally not accepted. It is only appropriate in Denmark and Netherlands. In Netherlands, they make a lot of political jokes. This is one thing I read. So it's important to learn about their political structures. They would just say something about a recent political change that happened in a sarcastic way or something. So we don't have to be like dumb people knowing like, is it even a joke or something? We have to be aware of all the political changes when you work in Netherlands. So these are some of the communications and the negotiating parts. And after work entertaining, this is a form of like business entertainment. And so you have all the points mentioned here. So it's like popular, Denmark is like they value, most of the European countries, they value private life and personal life, private and business life to be separate. They don't want to mix both of them together. So if you talk about Denmark, it's popular as they love to spend calm and comfortable time with good friends. It's called a concept called hygge, if I pronounce it correctly, it's called hygge. So wherein they just gather like a social drink or something. And similarly, it's for the others, it's respectively. For the France, there's a lot of business lunches that happen. That's the form of entertainment for a professional. You don't expect people to invite you for dinner if you are on a business visit. If you are a personal friend or a relative, it's fine. You can go for dinner and everything. And while going for dinners or for attending any business lunches or social events, it's really important to be punctual on the time. You cannot compromise on those stuff because they value us so much and they invite us for such social events. It's really important for us to be on time and grace the occasion. So yeah, that's all about this. So the summary is this. So we are trying to appreciate all the cultures. We have considered 8 different countries. So we are trying to take we are mainly concerned about similarities and the differences in each of the cultures when you encounter such business situations in the world. So egalitarianism is one common feature that you can see in all the countries, and direct speaking is another common similarity that you can sense in most of the European countries. Apart from that, it's different. So if you want to do business in Europe, any of the European nations, It's really important to have in-depth research of each country because they're all entirely different. So that's all about it. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer. I'm sorry. Oh.
Very good, very good. I thought this presentation, slide set wise, was most informative. It got to a lot of good points. Very good, very good. Some teams are sending me another version of a report. They're finding things they want to clean up and so forth. So please have to me any final versions of reports by say no later than 5 o'clock tonight. We're going to